This episode of The Sportsman's Empire is brought to you by Interstate Batteries. Since 1952, Interstate Batteries has been evoking compassion and a trustworthy spirit into the surrounding communities. Interstate Batteries is a mission-driven company fueled by purpose and guided by their values. If you need help locating a specific battery, stop into your local Interstate Batteries retail store and speak with a battery specialist. They even offer cell phone repairs. Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable. All right, everybody, this is the Man Therapy Podcast, and finally, the two of us are back together. Kyle, man, last, 3 weeks? Has it been 3 weeks?
It's been too long, bud.
Yeah, 3 weeks, no episode or something like that. We've been all over the world. Not really, but all over the Midwest, or I don't know, where you've been, but we're back
all over
together.
within a 3-hour drive.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, dude, how have you been? What have you been up to? Catch me up, man.
Yeah. I've been pretty good. Life has been busy. The sports are starting to catch back up, start back up. I mean, there's a short time period where, there wasn't anything. Soccer ended, baseball season ended, softball season ended. So we had like 2 or 3 weeks of nothing. And it's like, whoa, what do we do with ourselves?
Yeah.
And then it all just started up again, which is really cool. So it's fun. Yeah, I think that's been the biggest thing that's been going on for us. It also, my stepson has a condo, in Cedar Rapids, and, he had 2 roommates living with him that were helping to pay his mortgage, which is super cool. And both of his roommates moved out at the same time. And these are buddies of his from high school, and they both moved out at the same time. So, which is totally fine. But he was like, what do I do? Like, I needed them to pay rent. And, very quickly we were able to figure out how to rent his place out to folks working at the data centers. So this is something that's probably kind of national news, I think, like data centers being built all over the country and and dude, they really do affect local economies. Like, my son's friends were paying like $600 each to rent a room in this condo. And dude, one guy from the data center pays $1,250 a month for one room. And so that's, right there is already double. So he's going to be making double what he made. And it's not going to last forever, but it's going to last for the next couple years, probably at least, while all these dudes are in town. Man, it's the funniest thing. Seeing like really nice southern cars driving around Cedar Rapids. So we live in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We see like cool and interesting cars every once in a while. But man, in the past year, I've noticed like a lot more like tricked out cars, tricked out vehicles, souped up things. And you get a glance at their license plate. Oh, Texas.
Yep.
I just been a lot more of that sort of thing. It's been kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. Every once in a while, there is a bright yellow Lamborghini that I see in Cedar Rapids driving around. I never catch the license plate, like where it's from, but there's a Lambo. Actually, dude, I used to live in Clinton, Iowa, which is kind of a river town. And for those of you who don't understand what a river town is, it's kind of like a dirty town, like, but there was a neon purple and a neon, was it green? The guy had 2 Lamborghinis. And so he drove 2 Lamborghinis around that town in a river town. So I don't know what this guy did. Maybe cartel money. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's something for Iowa. Anybody that lives in like in a big city, like that's nothing, but those types of vehicles stand out in a town like Cedar Rapids.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Anyway, so we've been doing a ton of work to get my son's condo, ready for, these new roommates, because the rooms, they expect a lot for $1,250 a month in rent. So I've been like Mr. Fix-It, Mr. Handyman over there.
Yeah.
Eating up a lot of my time. So I don't know. I've been really busy. How about you, dude? You guys have been all over.
Yeah. Stupid, man. And I want to talk a little bit about this portion of it, because it's very unique, right? So I'll just start off of what we did. We It's been 2 weeks ago now, 2 weekends ago now, on a Thursday, like the 30th of July or something like that. We got into a car, and my family and another neighbor kid drove down. My daughter and this girl, they did a wrestling tournament in Branson, Missouri. So that's an 8-hour drive with the amount of stops. Okay. Dude, we weren't even out of Iowa, Kyle, and I had to stop 2 times. Hey, I'm going, like, hey, Dad, I got to go to the bathroom. Okay, bud, let's go. Anybody else have to go to the bathroom? Anybody? Dude, 45 minutes down the road. Hey, I got to go to the bathroom. Another kid. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was getting extremely frustrated, and because we had to make weigh-ins at a specific time that day, and I gave us about an hour and a half cushion to get there. And we got there just fine because I drove fast as shit. But, but I don't know if anybody's ever been through central Missouri, but there's not a lot of interstates. It's just like 2-lane roads, dude. And, and anyway, so we got down there, we did a wrestling tournament, and then we went to Branson, Missouri, and did the Branson, Missouri thing. Like, they have something called, Silver Dollar City, which is an amusement park. I don't like amusement parks. I did it for my family, right? We got lucky. Some lady pulls us to the side and goes, "Hey, I have 2 free tickets." And so instead of having to pay for 6 people, we only had to pay for 4, which was, what was it a pop? Like, $125 a pop to get in there. It was crazy, dude. And so instead of spending whatever $600 I spent, like, or $650, $700, I spent like $450 or something like that. Cool. We did the Branson, Missouri is a very unique town. It looks like it would have been cool 40 years ago type of place. It is not, it doesn't seem cool to me or my kids, really. It's like, hey, you want to go see an Elvis impersonator? No, don't want to do that. Like, we went, no, they weren't, but there was some, like, we did some go-kart racing. They rode some roller coasters. I taught Knox, my youngest boy, the Dale Earnhardt tribute sign, where you hold the number 3 out the go-kart, to big groups of people as we drive by. And he's like honoring Dale Earnhardt Sr. And then we went to the only thing that I thought was really awesome is we went to the guy who owns Bass Pro Shop. He also owns this place called Dogwood Canyon, which he essentially turned wild forest into this awesome trout habitat. And then they give like rides and education about like the stream, the work that went into it, the Indian culture that was in this. They have a pen full of buffalo and elk. And so it was like an hour and a half, 2-hour tour that we went on. That was fun. Went swimming, came back to Iowa for a one night, then drove to Northeast Iowa where we went fishing with her family. We entered in a fishing tournament. We did a lot of like fishing on the river and fishing, at some farm ponds up there. And, then now we're back here, right back into it. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. I thought vacations were supposed to be relaxing, right? It felt more like let's stuff as much shit into a weekend for almost like a photo op than it did, hey, let's relax and just chill. Let's just chill out and like decompress. But it wasn't like that. It was like rush to the next thing, rush to the next thing, rush to the next thing. And then the next thing you know, you're like, it's over and you're just as stressed out as you were when you left. And I understand that I need a vacation from my vacation type of deal.
Oh, absolutely. I wonder if I noticed that too. I think anybody listening to this will probably be like, yep, that's right. That's how it goes.
Yep.
I wonder if that's just our culture. Like, do other countries run themselves ragged on vacation? or do they actually relax? And I've talked
No.
with some friends about this in the past, and we've landed on, when you've got younger kids, if you're taking your kids, it's not a vacation, it's a trip.
Yeah.
You took a trip. You didn't take
Yeah.
a vacation. A vacation is you and your wife go somewhere and
Yeah.
you get to just unwind and just be quiet and just lays around. That's a vacation. So I would say you
Yeah.
didn't take a vacation. You took a trip. You facilitated the kids' fun, and you got some secondary enjoyment by watching
Yeah.
your kids enjoying life.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go fishing. That's super cool. And then, but you're the one like baiting all the hooks and untangling the lines and running from kid to kid, and like you barely had a line in the water. And is a lot of that cool and stuff you signed up for as a dad? Yes, absolutely. And also, like, let's not pretend like that calmed your nervous system at all.
No, it did not.
I would say you took a trip.
Yeah, we took 2 trips in 1 week, right? And then I don't know, man. It's just like there's this feeling I get sometimes where I'm overwhelmed with my life, and there's almost times where I'm not in control of it. Does that make sense? And I feel like I'm catering so much to other people's needs that I'm completely foregoing mine.
Yeah.
Right. And I just want to, it's just like, so here's a perfect example. My wife is a go-getter. She's she wants to go and move and go and move and do that. And so we were doing a lot of that, and I just wanted to sit down on the couch. Like, dude, I work all week. I take the kids to wrestling multiple times a week, went to the batting cage. Like, dude, I just want to sit down, right? I just want to sit down and relax, or I want to go do something where I don't have to be dad for 1 hour. I want to be dad, but I want to do it in a relaxed environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want, and it's just like, man, I hate to say it, but I feel like, before electronics, life was easier, man. Like, it was, hey, go outside and play. Okay. Now it's just, and yeah, this rain this week has been brutal. I don't know, man. It's just, I feel like our family is a stress ball at times. There's arguments, and it's just like, dude, we need to relax a little bit. But I'm also a believer, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. You know, I hear people say, "Oh God, I need a vacation to relax. I need a vacation to relax." And then they come home and they have the same exact behavior that they had before the vacation, because the vacation didn't do shit for you from a relaxation standpoint.
Right.
You know, so you're using that as an excuse to go on a vacation, when in all reality, it's a thing where it's like, you have to celebrate every day, not just only the days that are a vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot to that. And my mind goes to constructing the life that you want, or a life that you actually enjoy living. I think it tends to be true that when you're a parent, you're really a facilitator for a lot of years. Some of my friends have older kids, and they've expressed that once they get to be older, that it does get easier, that life lightens up and loosens up, as the kids don't need to be entertained as much. They want to do their own thing, and it's a double-edged sword. That right now your kids are little and do want and need a lot of you, and it's going to be weird when they can drive, and like when they can get the hell out of the house and go do things for themselves. It will be more relaxing for you. It's almost like having your kids around is awesome for obvious reasons, but it's a double-edged sword, because it does make life a lot more stressful. But then when life gets less stressful, it will likely be because they're not around as much. And that's gonna suck too.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Part of it's embracing the suck. I mean, your expression is usually eat a shit sandwich. Maybe that doesn't apply exactly here, because you don't think you're not getting the shitty end of the stick by like having to be a dad. But I do think it's a lot of what comes with the territory, and we just kind of have to get through this time. But I really like where your mind was going with, why not enjoy the day? Why not find a way to like enjoy what you're doing right now, and make today a fun day? or even just
Yeah.
like find your own peace or relaxation today. Do you get
Yeah.
any glimpses of that ever, like in your daily life at home?
Oh man, it's dude, it's weird. It's so weird. I will say this. I am by far, and this is not a dig at, I don't think this is a dig at my family. Me and my youngest boy are the two most optimistic people in the house. Okay. Um, Everybody else seems to be like, this sucks. I hate this, like that kind of attitude. I want to do this. I need to have this, like in order to be happy. And it's just like two things happen when I hear that. One, I go, why can't you find happiness in this house with these people? Right? You watch the news every day and you get to see how horrible other people's lives are. Right? I had a conversation with a guy who, yesterday at Bible study, my preacher, I do Bible study every Thursday, and he was talking about, he was, listening to, I'm going to back up just a sec.
Yeah.
Oftentimes people will leverage others to say, oh, well, they went on vacation again. Or, this person has a phone. Why can't I have a phone? This person does this. And so they always do whatever is going to benefit them. And so sometimes I don't do it a lot, but I want to go, hey, this person is a quadriplegic and has spent their entire life in a wheelchair. Right? Oh, your life isn't so bad now. Hey, what about those people over in this country who don't have running water, who live on dirt floors, who are afraid of getting bombed and shot every day? Oh, your life is way better than that. Right? And I'm trying to introduce perspective, but that's very hard to do when people are like, they just don't give a shit. Right? Mm-hmm. And so, I'm not really sure where I was going with this.
I haven't thought about that.
Yeah.
Man, you could look for volunteer opportunities. You could put them in positions where they see that sort of thing. Why not help? Maybe this year for Thanksgiving, find some church or organization that is feeding Thanksgiving dinner to the homeless or something, and just sign the family up and be like, we're doing this, and just expose them to some stuff. I think for them, it's likely a perspective issue, because all we see on social media is like everybody else's social highlight reel. So then that's what we're comparing ourselves to.
Yeah.
These things exist. How good they have it, but this is their normal. Yeah. So why not, I think your words are going to fall on deaf ears. I think it's probably got to be experiential. So why not look for some volunteer opportunities around the holidays to go expose your kids to like how some other people live, or even maybe even this fall, if there's like some communities will hold like a cleanup day where you go help like elderly folks like clean up their yard, or anything like that. Maybe see if you can find some opportunity like that to go help somebody that's less fortunate, so that your kids can see what life is like for other people.
Yeah. I like that idea. I really do want to do that. I really do want to do that.
I should do the same. I got exposed to a lot of that stuff when I was younger. My dad like collects and restores antique cars, and so we would go. He would basically buy estates, and like there'd be like some old farm where some guy had a bunch like barns full of car parts and old cars and stuff, and we'd go. They basically say like, he would have to buy everything. Like he couldn't just like cherry pick and buy the stuff that he wanted. Like if you want this stuff, you have to take everything. So we would go to these like rundown places and talk to the people that owned them, and they were like total sweethearts, but it'd be like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. I'd go in their house, and it was like a hoarder house. Yeah. And I got to see like how other people lived. And then my house, which wasn't nice, looked a lot better compared to the hoarder house, but my kids have never been in a hoarder house. Yeah. I'm not saying that kids have to go into a hoarder house, but I am saying that I think getting exposure to other ways of living can help put your way of life into perspective. Yeah. Yeah. I've been in a lot of hoarder houses, and I was by the time I was 8. My youngest is 8. I had already been in multiple hoarder houses
Yeah.
by the time I was 8. So like
Mhm.
I kind of was like, oh boy, it's like pretty nice. I can see the floor in my house. That's good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let me ask you this question. What is it about human nature, in your opinion, maybe as, as Kyle or as a professional, like why can't people just be happy with what they have?
Yeah, man. I think comfort's the biggest addiction right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
comfort. It sucks. I think our this is like the easiest time to be alive that's ever been in the history of our planet. And I don't think we know what the hell to do with ourselves. And I
Hmm.
think like if like a little bit is good, then more is better and more is better and
Yeah.
more is better. And it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think we don't know what to do with it. So
And I'm guessing that when you run into two people who are like, dude, I'm happy with what I have. I'm very grateful, like this. And then you have people who are like, I want more. I want more money. I want more possessions. I want a different house. I want a different car. I want
Mhm.
bigger, better vacations. Those two people collide. And then their, what's the word I'm looking for? Their belief systems or their
Mhm.
other systems are,
Worldviews.
um, yeah, man. Um,
Yeah.
I don't want to go full religious here or full Bible on you, but
Those Bible.
there's a part in the Bible where it says, do not seek treasures on earth, seek treasures in heaven. Okay. And essentially what that means is live a good life here now, be kind, be respectful, help others, be a good person, be a good family, and then your rewards in heaven will be exponential. You'll have everything you've ever wanted in heaven. Okay. And do not covet like things and possessions and money and disrespect people and things like that. Cause if you treasure the possessions that you have now, then in heaven, you won't have those things. Right. And so, or you may not make it to heaven. Right.
Mhm.
Depending on what you believe. And so I've kind of taken that to heart where I'm just trying to be the most happy in every situation that I have. Like, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. The house I live in compared to the new ones that are going up on the north side of town are two completely different houses, right?
Oh yeah.
But this house is better than the house that I grew up in. It is, and it's better than the house my wife grew up in. And it's in a great neighborhood with good people, right? And, there's been talk of moving to a different acreage recently that would be $900 a month more than what we're currently paying, but it does have like a space where I could expand my office into a shop scenario and build a studio and like get real creative with some things. But it's not, like physically, it's not financially possible, right? Like, and it's 1 bedroom short too. So and I would probably need a plow to scoop the driveway and a riding lawnmower to mow all of the yard and things like that. And so in theory, it would be great, but it's just like, dude, why can't you just be happy right here? Right? Find happiness here. Oh, and then what I get frustrated with, and I'm not just saying my family members, what I'm talking about with all people is just like, why do you have to have all this stuff? It makes you fake, man.
Mhm.
Oh, cool. You got a brand new car. I like nice things. Like one thing I've heard before is, what is it? What's the saying? It's like, um, I'm not high maintenance. I just like nice things. Isn't that the definition of being high maintenance?
Seriously. Dude, I think it's a habit. I think it's like, I think it's I think it's a train of thought that you get hooked into. And if you're not purposeful and consciously aware, then
Yeah.
it just carries you away.
Yeah.
And, I hear you talking about like trying to, trying to live within your means, trying to be happy with what you have, trying to be grateful for what you have, all of those things. And the idea that popped up in my head was like, Yeah, because you're actually trying to cultivate that attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're working on yourself.
Yeah.
So like so now we're getting into something that I think is really important, which is the idea of being internally anchored versus externally anchored. And a
Yeah.
person that's internally anchored is able to say, "Hey, I'm choosing to be happy right now. I'm choosing to be
Yeah.
grateful." And a person that's externally anchored needs the next hit
Mm-hmm.
of happiness.
Yeah.
They need the next dose.
Yeah.
So like you could be it seems to me like you're trying to turn yourself into an internally flowing spring of happiness.
Okay.
And contentment is probably a better word. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay. Things are okay. I appreciate what I have. My family's healthy. Things are all right. I can pay the bills. We have a roof over our heads, things like that. You have this internal spring of contentment versus like, oh, a good thing happened and I felt good for a couple of days, but now I need another good thing to happen or I'm going to
Yeah.
be tweaking out. So then
Yep.
you chase the next good thing and that makes you feel good for a couple of days, but then you start getting the itch again and you're tweaking
Mm-hmm.
out. You need the next thing. And then you're looking around at what everybody else has and it just makes the itch even worse.
Yeah.
It's like, quit looking around at what everybody else has.
Yeah. 100%, man.
But you're
100%.
doing it on purpose though. Like that's the big thing. I think the takeaway for every single person, if anyone ever listens to this, I think such a major takeaway already from the brief time we're talking about is if you want a better life, it comes from you working on yourself from within and practicing being grateful for what you have and
Mm-hmm.
catching yourself in your habits of wanting more. Because
Dude,
we're all guilty of it.
that's the internet clip right there. That's the clip that I'm going to post on my social media
Yeah.
because more people need to hear that, dude. And just imagine how better your neighborhood would be, your family would be if everybody put it's almost a selfishness thing. Like you got to put yourself first. You got to work on yourself before you can go to the next person and say, hey, you need to change yourself. You need to be better. Right. Because here's the creeper. The creeper that sneaks in is resentment. Right. And people will start to resent you and you will start to resent others. Right. And it's just, oh my God, it has the possibility to get ugly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I really respect you for working on yourself to clean up your side of the street, so to speak. I will say, I've noticed this from being a therapist all these years, that a thing that can happen pretty often is the person in your position that is working to like feel better and do better. It makes them start to be a lot more aware of the other people that aren't and the ways that other people aren't being healthy. And that's going to be part of your journey too.
Yeah.
Right
I'm
now
going to
it's
need
just
patience for that,
awareness.
to be honest with you.
Yeah. Amen. You will.
Yeah.
You will need to have patience for that. It still
Yeah.
is good. It's good that you're working on your internal spring of contentment, so to speak. You will have to have patience with your family and you're going to have to be a role model for your kids, a role model for your spouse. Part of what you're probably going to have to work on too is like not feeding into or not getting carried away by other people's emotionality or their wants and stuff, that you'd be able to look at them and say, I hear you. You have your wants. Your life is your journey.
Yeah.
You could practice being less affected by them. You
Yeah.
could practice like not feeding into their wants or neediness or complaining. And, when they're complaining about something, go, yeah, that must be hard for you.
Yeah.
But you don't have to feed
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah. But isn't there like a sense of sarcasm where, let's say, this is just an example. Let's say my wife is like, oh, I don't like my car. I want a new car. I need this new car or whatever. This is just an example. And I say exactly what you said. It's like, oh, that must be hard for you to not have a new car. Right? Like that's almost like a backhanded like compliment or whatever.
It depends on the sentiment. Yeah. I mean, that could be the resentment that you're talking about creeping in. For sure. You could do it in a joking, jovial manner, or you could do it in a snide, shitty way.
Yeah.
Or you could do it sincerely. But a thing that you're probably going to benefit from practicing is unhooking from other people's emotions and just letting them have them.
Yeah. The hardest part is when those people live in the same house as you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. 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 It's not easy, right?
No,
it's not
you
easy.
Can't fix them and you can't save them. You can work on yourself and
Yeah.
then you're part of the equation. So the best you can do is work on your part of the equation.
Yeah. And that's the thing where, like, again, I'm going back to religion here, because that's a journey that I'm currently on.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do this, I know that I'm reading the Bible. I'm doing studies about the people and how I should act or how people should act based off of the Bible or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to become a better person. I fail every day, and that's going to happen. But the difficult part in this is, as I transition into, I don't want to say a new person. It's just a better version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I am aware of everybody else continuing the old habits, which is just another sign of, it's a different, category of, I don't know. I'm aware that people are not changing, and it becomes frustration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so again, now you're having to manage a different level of frustration.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I wonder. I even wonder what the Bible says about that. I think the Bible is a wonderful collection of life lessons.
yeah,
Like at its essence, there's parts of the Bible that I don't connect with. I know there's parts of the Bible that I don't understand. But from my
I'm
reading,
sorry, you glitched there. What'd you say?
that there are parts of the Bible that I don't connect with, and there are
Mm,
parts of the Bible that I know I don't understand. But I have read a lot of the Bible,
yeah,
and a lot of it is like just really, really, really good life lessons.
yeah,
Where it's like, here's how to deal with this. Here's how to
hmm
deal with that. Here's
yeah,
how you should conceptualize this. Here's what's not to do.
yeah,
And all of these stories that I've read, I'm like, whoa, that's so smart. Whoa, absolutely. Whoa, that's definitely the way to do that.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
think it's really good that you have a source material to be, it's kind of like your playbook.
yeah,
You know?
kind of, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I went through it. Here's the crazy part. You have to have an open mind to go through some kind of like change. And I'm not talking from non-religious to religious, or believing in God to not believe, or to not believing in God to believing in God. I'm talking about just being a angry, resentful human being to trying not to do that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Oh
And
yeah,
so it is a hard road, and I don't think there's ever an end to it, because there's no such thing as perfection.
yeah,
And so you're always on the road until the end, right?
totally agree.
And it becomes a battle, because it is easy, and this is where I have failed. It is easy to get mad at the kids and yell at the kids when your fuse has been burnt out, right? Instead of taking a step back, taking a deep breath and going, "Hey buddy, I'm sorry, but this can't happen. You've been naughty today," instead of being like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah," right? But maybe belittling them, or,
Yeah.
or maybe even calling them a name or something like that. I still
Mm-hmm.
fail. I
Yeah.
still fail at that every single day, and it's hard. And, but every time I do that, I acknowledge it. I understand that, hey man, I probably made my kid not like me right there. And that's not the goal. My goal is to educate these kids on
Mm-hmm.
how to be, not not break them down, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's continuous, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree. I feel that too. I would bet every dad listening to this feels that. And
Yeah,
even guys that don't have kids, they just have a partner and just have a
yeah,
spouse. I think a lot of it's probably going upriver from the problem.
hmm
Like kind of reverse engineering, so to speak, of like, if there's a moment where you snapped at your kids and you're like, well, how do I not do that in those moments?
hmm
My guess is it's less about that and more about how do you prevent yourself from getting that close to the edge to begin with.
yeah,
And I think it's a lot of the personal work that you're doing right now. I think like you if we don't monitor our baseline of stress and like be purposeful about it, it just creeps up all day, every day. But if we can notice that that's a thing for ourselves to manage, then it'll creep up, but not as high. So we'll have more reserve in the tank when the kid does the annoying thing.
Yeah.
So I think we have to focus on our own happiness and our own okayness a lot more of the time. I think we're flying, and I'm guilty of this too, like big time, probably more than most people, but like I fly by the seat of my pants too much throughout the day. And what I mean by that is I'm not being purposeful with how I am. I'm not being purposeful with the types of thoughts that I think. I'm not being purposeful with my mood or my attitude. I'm not choosing them. I'm just feeling however I feel. And I think that's okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's right. I think that's kind of an immature way to do it.
Yeah.
I think it would be better for me to be like, I'm going to be cool, calm, and collected today, and remind myself that multiple times throughout the day, I will be less irritated.
Yeah.
But if I don't do that, I'm irritated.
It's very difficult to change who you are. But like this, here's the thing. I still laugh at dirty jokes. I'll still tell a dirty joke. I'll still say some off-color stuff. I'll, out of humor or things like that. So I'm definitely not perfect, but it's essentially reconditioning your thoughts when, dude, it is so easy to get angry at people. Just drive down the interstate any day recently. Right? It's just packed. It's jam packed. People are cutting in and out all the time. It is crazy out there. Life is crazy out there. And if you let it, dude, it'll carry you away, man. Like anger and instant blow ups and just like, bah. Do you think some people need that? Like, let's say, for example, making a mountain out of a molehill type of scenario, and then they forget it. Is that fair? Where, let's say, for example, you were turning around, you turned around, me and you were neighbors, and you did something, and there's a tire track. Maybe you had to turn around in your yard or something, and there's a tire track in there, and it was wet, and it maybe got muddy or something, and I just blew up at you, right? But I was over it real quick, right? But I still blew up at you, right? Do some people need to be able to do that, or?
I don't think so. I think that's likely probably more because their baseline of stress has gotten high and stayed high. They're probably living in chronic stress. And maybe they have really good reason for it, or maybe it's because they haven't trained their brain. But that's what I'm talking about. If you're not purposeful, then you're going to gravitate towards the negative.
Yeah.
Like our human brains aren't really wired for happiness. Like we're always looking for the negative is seductive to us. And so we're always going to be drawn that way. It's almost like if you have a car that the steering is off and it's always trying to pull you to the left. If you don't realize that, you're just going to let the car always go to the left. But if you realize that your alignment's off, you're going to purposefully counter that and turn the wheel to the right a little bit.
Yeah.
So like what you're talking about working on yourself, that's you recognizing that your alignment's off and you're purposefully compensating for that. But some people don't realize their alignment's off and they just go with it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm mad every day and that's just how I am. It's like, no, that's not just how you are. That's how you've allowed yourself to get.
Yeah.
And it's your responsibility to not be that way. Like people really need to sit down and think about the type of person that they want to be, and then they need to work towards it. And I would put that towards any unhappy person in any household. I'd say, is this how you want to be? Like, I understand this is how you are. And also you could give me really good reasons for how you are. And I wouldn't even argue with you. Like I'm pissed off and irritated for all of these reasons. I'd say those are fine reasons to be pissed off and irritated. But do you want to be pissed off and irritated? Well, no. All right. Well, then let's talk about how to not be that type of person in the face of irritants.
Yeah. Yeah.
And start cultivating that.
There was a buzzword early on when you were speaking, chronic stress. From your opinion, what is chronic stress? And is that something that people are able to walk away from or fix?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think that it is. So the way I'll explain chronic stress is basically like everyone has a stress system. So let's say that your baseline of stress is here, and then a stressful event happens. So your level of stress goes up
Hmm.
for obvious reasons. And then the stressor goes away. So your level of stress comes back down and you go, oh, I'm glad that's over. And then life's okay. Then the next stressor comes and your stress level goes up and you deal with it and the stressor goes away and your stress level goes back down and you go, oh, that's nice. That feels good. What chronic stress is from your baseline, your stress level would go up because there would be a stressor and
Hmm.
then it doesn't come back down. Like maybe that stressor just stays forever, or
Yeah.
maybe that stressor happened, your stress level came up and it was like about to go down, but then another stressor came up that kept your stress level high. And then it was about to go down, but another stressor came up and bumped your stress level back up. Well, the longer you stay at a high stress level, the more your average stress level creeps up. So it can become your new baseline.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then what will happen is your baseline for anxiety will just come up to meet it. So now you're just stressed and anxious
Hmm.
because you're just anticipating stress all the time.
Yeah.
And then what can happen is even if the stress goes down, the person is still left with the anxiety. And these are the people that are like, I don't know why I'm so anxious. Things are fine. I just feel really anxious. It's like,
Yeah.
well, were you just stressed for like a year or two or three? Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
then that's probably why you're anxious.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
chronic stress, our stress level gets drug up due to stressors. And
Yeah.
if it never comes back down, then our new stress level is just high. Now, the way to counteract that essentially is to like let's say that your child has cancer, and so that
Yeah.
pulls your stress level up. Okay, that's a really, really, really good environmental reason to be stressed. Okay. But what if your stress level is like, oh, the kids are always asking for snacks and the kids are never happy and the kids are bored and da 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 da. Okay, so that's an environmental stressor, but that one is one that you could do some work to be like, well, how do I want to respond to that?
Hmm.
Maybe I take some deep breaths myself. Maybe I teach them some skills. Maybe I just kick them out of the house, like whatever the thing may be. So
Yeah.
you can learn how to, if it's your goal, you can learn how to reconceptualize those type of stressors
Yeah.
and basically retrain your brain to not be as stressed.
Yeah. How do you have a conversation with someone about that? Like, what's that conversation look like where I got this person who just gets crazy? I don't know. I'm thinking I'm a wife or I'm a husband and I live in a house with a person who is high stress, high anxiety, and they take certain things like a dirty dish in the sink that's been there all day and the dishwasher hasn't been emptied or maybe there's shoes all over the entryway or whatever the case is. And that makes them stressed. How do you have a conversation with someone and ask them the question, dude, is this even worth your energy right now? How
Yeah.
do you have that conversation?
I mean, I think even the way that you ask that is pretty good. I mean, you could, if the person's open to it, you can basically say exactly that. Like, yeah, you know what? The laundry that needs to be done is not nothing, but you get to decide the level of intensity you bring
Hmm.
to that,
Yeah.
and just continuously point out that they're letting themselves get that
Hmm.
affected. It's like
Yeah.
the laundry needs to be done either way, whether you're super pissed about it or whether you're in a good mood. And I think role modeling might be more useful than like talking about it, because you calling somebody out on it might even add to their
Hmm.
stress because they're not going to be in a mood to hear it. But if you put on some music that you like and you do the things in a good mood, they're more likely to see that,
Yeah.
and then they might emulate it. I don't know how helpful it is, honestly, to like I wish that it worked out such that a spouse could say to the other spouse, hey, I noticed that you're really stressed and all these household chores do need to be done, but wow, we don't need to be so stressed while we're doing them.
Yeah.
Maybe you can say that, but man, it's this weird dynamic where the person that you would hypothetically be the most willing to hear it from, you're the least willing to hear it from.
Oh yeah.
It's so stressful in
Yeah.
marriages. I don't know why that is.
Yeah. The person who is supposed to be your best friend, who is supposed to be the person you made these vows for, is the person who is the most critical about you, is the person who doesn't want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
Oftentimes has the most resentment towards you. It just doesn't make much sense.
I know.
Right?
I know.
It doesn't make much sense. Just imagine if you were okay. I'm not even talking about, because you know just as well as I do, the honeymoon stage gets over real quick, right?
Yeah.
And to any listeners out there, if you think that marriage is going to fix a problem, it will not, right? It will only amplify it, after it's all done. So be picky on who you decide to marry. Anyway.
Oh, that's huge. I 1000% agree with that.
Yeah.
And then also even worse, if you think a kid's going to solve the problem,
it won't.
You're really going to be in deep then.
Yep. Exactly. So you better know how to handle, a conflict and frustration, because I'll tell you what, man, and that's the reason why there's so many divorces, is because people just don't want to put in the work to fix themselves or talk. Empathy goes out the window, and it's just like me, my. I don't give a shit about you or the family. I'm out. And then I'll blame everything on you. You know what I mean? It's just like, that shit's a two-way street.
Absolutely. I'm sure that they exist. I just don't know of any. And I think I've even done a little research and didn't come up with much, but I think it would be really fun to go on a marriage retreat where there's like highly structured time. Let's say it's a week long, where it would just be you and your spouse. You would go someplace nice and calm and beautiful, and there would be structured activities and meetings and group sessions and facilitated things where it's like, hey, we're going to have this conversation, and you're going to hear lots of perspectives on this, and you're going to get a chance to have some quiet reflection time where you write about your woes in life and your grievances and your frustrations, and also the things that you're grateful for and the things that you have good in your life and what you want your goals to be. And we're going to schedule some time for you to just enjoy your spouse. And we're even going to do some guided interaction time between you and your spouse, so that you and your spouse don't even have to wonder what to do. We're going to tell you what to do, and you're going to enjoy it. And we're going to have time where you just relax by the pool and you're not allowed to do anything else. And we're going to set rules that you can't talk about negative things. Like, we're going to have specific times where we talk about the difficult, stressful things, and you're not even allowed to talk about them during other times. Like, that could be really, really beneficial to couples, because I think that when we are living our daily lives, there's almost never a good time to talk about things because we're always stressed. So I do imagine, and maybe that's a thing that I'll do at some point in my career, is set up something like that. But I think a marriage retreat could be really, really cool. To reconnect with your spouse. Like, what was it that drew you to them? What do you love about them? What do you respect about them? Yeah.
It is hard in the society, in the activities that we've built, and the electronics that take away our mind. I mean, because really it's not even our time. It takes away our mind to even have the ability to think about the other person for a moment, right? It is a poison. It's a time suck. It's a poison. And when you're sitting there scrolling or watching TV, you're thinking about whatever. Hell, when you get into a scroll, I was thinking about this the other day, because in the last couple months, I've really been putting my phone down and trying not to scroll on it, and just being present in my house. And I did that because as I was scrolling, I was thinking about, like, what did I take away from that? And the answer is nothing. I wasn't thinking about anything. I didn't change anything. It's not like I ever pull up those 30-second, 40-second clips later and go, hey, check this out. I want to show you this new way to do this, or something like that. It's all fucking zombie mode, dude.
Yeah.
And so And then I've also started to see, especially this week with all the rain we've had, the kids are on their phones more, a little bit more, because we both work from home. And I am trying to find a way to, I'm trying to find a way to get them off it. And when they get off of it, they don't know how to fucking act, dude. And it's scary, and it makes me, I'm really looking forward to the kids to go back to school, but I am really, really, it makes me be extremely grateful for those who are teachers, because that first week, dude, I'm telling you right now, and I'm not even joking on this. It's straight serious, dude. Like, it's going to be a bunch of crack babies coming off their devices all day long, and they have no clue how to interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be bananas there for these kids, even my kids.
Oh yeah.
And so shout out to all that
friends.
Yeah. Shout out. Yeah.
All right.
Go buy them a bottle of wine or whatever, and say thank you, right, for everything. So, but yeah, dude, it's, what time do you got to shut down today?
Oh, I've got time.
Got time. Okay. It's, what have been out of this conversation? Where's the next logical step in this conversation? Like, if there's a person out there who is feeling it, but hasn't made any attempts to take that first step to try to become a better person, what would you suggest?
Man, Google or Chat GPT, how to cultivate not happiness. What was the word I used earlier? Contentment. How to cultivate contentment in my own life. Mm-hmm. Google that or Chat GPT that, and start there. And start taking some actual steps, so that it's not just mental masturbation where you just get stuck in research mode and you think the researching is the work, because it's not. It's only like insight is opening the door, and then action is actually making change. Yeah. So insight's not enough. And a lot of people know, because, a lot of people know what they should be doing. Like me with my weight, like I want to lose 50 pounds. I know I need to lose weight. I have that insight. Mm-hmm. I know what I need to do. I actually used to work out all the time, so I'm highly knowledgeable about all of that stuff. So my insight is next to useless. Yeah. It's good that I have it, but it's not doing me any good right now. I need to actually take some steps. So I would really encourage people to research how to cultivate contentment in my life and take one step. One step. One thing that you actually do. Do it. Don't just go, oh yeah, that would be good if I did that. Yeah. Actually do it.
Yeah. Here's one thing we haven't talked about yet. And it's a little bit about perspective. So did I tell you about this? That when we got, before Branson, Missouri, my son, had to have his appendix taken out.
No, I saw it online. You and I haven't talked about it.
Yeah. So, one day we were at our town has a local fun days, and we were there, and he seemed to be having a blast, running around, jumping. And then all of a sudden he signed up for the tractor pull, and he started having tears in his eyes. And he said, oh, my tummy's hurting, and I don't feel good. I feel like I'm going to throw up. And I said, okay, buddy. Well, we went home, and he started to throw up, and he threw up for like 2 hours, 3 hours. And we thought it was maybe just too much candy or food or anything like that. And then, he went a long period of time, and he wasn't, and then he started throwing up again later that night. And then he finally fell asleep, and then he woke up in the middle of the night, and it went from a general area, then the pain became ultra localized, right? So right exactly where, and so I do it. So I take him in, they do some, they do all the tests and stuff. Boom, inflamed appendix. It's got to come out. Okay. They schedule it. We had to transfer hospitals, from the North Liberty one to the university where they do all this, the new children's hospital, which is awesome, by the way. The new children's hospital, they put him under, they take his appendix out. He wakes up. We have our little haha moments when he's waking up, right? Boom, problem solved. He's got like 2 weeks of no swimming. And he's good to go, right? He's back in wrestling practice already. Okay. Awesome, right? Little bit of a stressor, but we're in the children's hospital. You want to talk about helplessness and stress? We're there. We're watching other parents with tears in their eyes, right? My gut told me, dude, this is an in and out procedure. Like it's an appendix. They do it. They do over 125, I think they said, appendix removals on children every year. They're there. It's an in and out, right? I think it was like a 45-minute procedure or something like that. Done, right? Then you get to walk around that building into some of the rooms and you're seeing kids who, man, their life is going to be hard. Their entire life is going to be hard. And whatever is left of their life is going to be hard. And it takes your breath away, dude.
Uh-huh.
And then I get to sit out and I'm here and I'm looking out my window and I get to see my kids playing basketball in my driveway, smiling and laughing. Meanwhile, there's an entire hospital floor dedicated to kids that may not make it to my kids' age. Just breathe that in for a moment, man. And say to yourself, like, I'm not trying to be a downer now, but your life is fucking good, dude. If your kid can ride a bicycle, he's doing good. Right. And,
Amen.
and so it put a little bit of perspective. It's like, how hard is your life really, dude? You have no problems compared to these people.
So what'd that perspective do to you?
It did a couple things. It made me hug my kids a little closer, for that week. It made me continue to love them. It made me be thankful on this journey that I'm on, right? It made me thank God and being like, dude, thank you for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've made my life great because I have these people in it. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what do you think perspective could do for your kids and your family if they were able to get some perspective on things?
I don't know. I think in this world, it's hard for kids to get perspective, like that. Like, they're so easily distracted and I don't think they maybe have the brain capacity to absorb it, but an adult could, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's, I don't know, man.
To harken back to earlier in our conversation, maybe that's a thing that you might have a little more influence over is trying to expose your family to perspective, different perspectives.
Yeah.
Sign them up, look for opportunities, sign them up for things. We're going to go do this. We're going to go volunteer. So that they can see it.
Yeah. Here's another thing. And this is a me problem, I think. I feel like when you have situations like that, right? And so I keep going back to this one. So my wife, intensive care, really close to dying.
Remember.
Right. And is it fair for me to remind her, to say, dude, there was the beginning of this year, you almost died and you're fucking mad at this thing, right? Or someone gets frustrated about something and I'm like, hey, look, do you remember walking through the children's hospital and seeing that kid in a full body cast? Or do you remember that? Is that fair or is that too aggressive?
I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
I think you could try it and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because
that shit could work on me too. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's something that I'm doing where I've lost perspective on a couple things.
Yeah.
And maybe I need a reminder on some of that stuff, but, I didn't know if it was like, hey dude, or like when we drive through certain parts of town, every once in a while I'll go, man, look at that. How would you feel if that was your house? Oh, you'd feel pretty bad, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Maybe
don't
that's an
I
asshole
don't
part of
think
me.
that's wrong. I
Yeah.
do think that them having their own experiences with um helping other people and probably you probably need to have like continuous
Yeah.
experiences. And I don't mean weekly, but I do mean like, yearly or something to like refresh
Hmm.
that insight that they have. And
Yeah.
and all the stuff I say to myself too, like as I say, oh, it would be really good if you would volunteer to serve Thanksgiving meals. I'm like, yeah, Kyle,
Yeah.
that would be good. Why don't you do that with your family? I'm thinking I
Yeah.
might do that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Or anything similar.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's go
Absolutely.
help. My dude, my kids, if we help other people, like my kids feel super good.
Hmm.
And even like my kids feel good. So I sprained my foot um helping somebody move a couch. I sprained my foot pretty bad. And so I was on crutches. I guess that's the thing I didn't mention. So I was on crutches for a few days and
Hmm.
now I'm just like limping pretty bad, but it's getting a little bit better every day. Um, dude, my son, who is usually like, this isn't a dig at him, it's just an observation. He's usually like pretty focused on himself.
Yeah.
He would be like, sitting on the couch, like something just out of arm's reach. He's like, hand me that. I'm like, if you lean forward 3 more inches, you would just have it. Like, don't ask me to get you things that you can reach, you know? But that's how cushy life is for him. But when I hurt my foot pretty bad and I'm on crutches, like all of a sudden he's running ahead of me to open doors and he's like
Hmm.
asking what he can help carry and all of
Yeah.
these things. And so like that turned into an opportunity for him to get outside of himself, which I
Hmm.
think it's a big reason why, say, something like volunteering is really helpful because it's actually one of the most useful treatments for depression is getting outside of yourself and go be of service to other people.
Right.
Because otherwise, if you're focused on your own comfort, then you always want more.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if a little bit of comfort is good, then more is better. And then you get used to that. So then you need more. Then you get used to that. So you need more.
Yeah.
And then what used to be like fun and novel and special just becomes your baseline and it's
Yeah.
not exciting anymore and the novelty wears off. So I think
Yeah.
it's the more self-centered you are, the worse. And to a degree, you can't let go of yourself. You can't lose track of yourself, but the more you can focus on other people and being helpful to other people, the better you feel.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great, yeah, I think that's something we should all maybe try to do a little bit because,
Mhm.
I think even, even when you think you might be, I don't know, maybe the term isn't less fortunate, right? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe there is, um, but there's always someone who's got it worse than you, dude. I'm telling you, in this world, if you're even listening to this podcast right now, there's people like the fact that you are able to listen to a podcast on a phone or on a computer or whatever means you're like, compared to the rest of the world, you're doing really well. But I will say this. I hate that. I hate that I actually just said that because one thing that I do not like is when somebody compares themselves to others, right? Like, oh, it must be nice to go on that vacation, right? Or
Yeah.
that, like everybody has their own set of wants and needs and problems and, anxieties and things like that. And, I feel like if we would just remove ourselves from that and focus on ourselves, I mean, everybody would be getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's looking at someone else with envy is bad, but looking at someone else to like for tips and
Yeah.
tricks to improve is good.
Oh yeah,
And when you
absolutely.
can tailor your life after somebody you're doing well, I think there's a quote from I don't even know who said. I'll paraphrase something to the effect of the only reason you should look in someone else's bowl is to make sure they have enough.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
like that. Yeah.
you shouldn't be trying to like glean the best things from everybody thinking that you should have it. Like, why not practice being like, oh, good for them. That's cool. Oh,
Yeah.
Dan got a new truck. Super cool.
Yeah.
Good for Dan. That's good. Better is better.
Yep.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, fuck, Dan got a new truck. Look what I'm driving, a 2008 Honda Fit. This
Yeah.
sucks. I'm
Yeah.
a piece of shit. I'm a failure in life.
Yeah.
Like that negative, like that's the training your brain part of like, it doesn't have to go that way. And if that's the way your thoughts going, it would be good for you to recognize that and
Yeah.
do some work to not have that be the case.
Yeah.
Focus on gratitude.
Yeah, absolutely. Any final thoughts today, Kyle?
Good to catch up with you, man. It's good to see
Yeah.
you. I'm glad that your son's okay. I know that appendix stuff can be really scary, and especially for kids, like they don't know what the hell's going on, so that's really scary for them. And also knowing that like it's often the case that once the appendix is inflamed, it's like, oh, this process is happening right now. So
Exactly.
the kids don't get to like conceptualize it at all. It's like, I'm fine. Oh, major stomach pain. Oh, surgery. Holy shit. So I'm just glad that he got through all that. Good job being there for him. I also know it's scary as a parent to have your kid go under. And
so this wasn't even scary to me after going through what my wife went through. Like, dude, I'll be honest. So there was 2 times in my life where we thought this, like certain people in the family thought it was a big deal. Okay. So like, and I could understand why they thought it was a big deal. Right. My brother wasn't feeling well and they did some x-rays and he had a mass in his lung. So instantly people get worried. He's got lung cancer. Oh my God, he's going to die. Do a little bit more testing and it's, like I think it was eventually considered pneumonia or something like that. Medication went away, happy, right? I did not get worried about that one. For some reason, I don't know why. I didn't know the details. I just didn't get worried about it. With this one, with the appendix, I, for some reason, was just not worried about it at all. I was calm, collective. I felt like I did a pretty good job. When your kid has to go under for a surgery, I said my prayers. I was confident in the staff at that hospital to do what they do. And I wasn't worried at all about it, to be honest with you. And so, but there were some other times in my life with my wife and with, my son Mac one time where he had this crazy virus and he was in the hospital that freaked me out. But, other than that, cool, calm, collective.
Good. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. What are you going to do today that's actually calming and relaxing for Dan?
I guarantee
you can do something.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to actually have a little, after this episode, I might have a little internal conversation with myself and ask myself, hey man, is it worth getting stressed when this happens? Or maybe after this call, I just sit in this chair and I take a couple of deep breaths. I have a couple moments of reflection, which a handful of years ago, I would have called myself gay right there. You know what I mean? Like, oh, dude, that's stupid. Why are you doing that? Right? No disrespect there. But I'm just like, I am going to be calm. I'm going to be cool. I'm going to take control of my emotions and I'm not going to let any of the bad shit, try not to let any of the bad shit affect me. That's the goal. You?
Yeah. What am I going to do today? One of my favorite things to do is I will go up and I will just choose one of my kids and I'll just grab them and I'll just put them on my lap and I'll just hold them. And like a lot of times they're watching a show. So I'll just walk in, pick one of them up off the couch where they're already sitting, sit down where they were, put them on my lap, and they'll just keep watching the show and I'll just hold them and I'll just smell their head and I'll just be like, oh, I'm so happy that I can do this right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm so glad that I can have that I have my kids, that I can do this, and I'll just soak it up. So that's a thing that I usually do. I'll probably do that today.
Yeah. I'm going to do that too. That's a good advice. Go hug your kids.
Hug your kids.
Hug your kids. All right, Kyle, man, I really appreciate you as always. If you guys are listening to this podcast and it means something to you, do me a favor, go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you download the Man Therapy podcast or listen to it. Give us a 5-star review. I would absolutely love that. Make sure you're following the Man Therapy podcast on Instagram as well, on YouTube if you like to watch. But outside of that, Kyle, I'm looking forward to getting into a more consistent routine here now that the summer's coming to an end, and we can continue talking about the world's problems, I guess.
That's right. We can do it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.